Welcome to everyone. We are going to do a Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni Q&A tonight, question and answer. There was a ton of misinformation going around, as you guys know, about the situation. I am extremely passionate about this. I've literally read every legal document out there. I watched a ton of different creators on this to get like aspects of both sides. I try to kind of immerse myself in all of it. And I've formed my own opinion, and I want to share tonight kind of why I came to that opinion and what the scoop is. Let me preface this, however, with no, I am not paid by Justin Baldoni, Ryan Reynolds, or any party associated with them whatsoever. I am 100% not paid at all for any of my content on here, first of all. I'm Canadian. TikTok does not pay for anything in Canada for us, unfortunately, for our content. I have never, ever been in contact with anyone from Blake Lively or anyone who knows Blake Lively personally. I've never been in contact with Justin Baldoni or his team or anyone who knows him personally. Let me lay that out right now. Never. I would love to chat with anyone from either of those sides. I wish I had have thought of that or known an email address that I could have. It's all in the court docket now, but I've never reached out to their lawyers. I've never reached out to anybody involved in this situation. I've only just posted my opinions, my content, and my research. So that's that. I think the only person that I've ever spoken to that is involved in this situation is Perez Hilton. Months ago when Perez Hilton started going live on TikTok with his multiple accounts he was trying to create, I actually did go live with him. I was following him and watching his content when this first broke. And I actually thought he had changed. I started following him. He was just kind of relaying the situations. He would tell his opinion, but it would be in a respectful kind of way. And I really enjoyed it. So I did start following him. I was doing a live one night and he requested to join me, and I did. So twice I ended up doing a live with him. The first time, I can't remember what we chatted about, but it was a great little conversation. I chit-chatted. I told him that I liked the change in him and that he's, trying to turn over this new leaf and whatever. And then he went on his way. The second time, it was more into the situation, and we kind of got arguing about it a bit because he had started getting a little bit more nasty towards Blake, and I didn't like that. I wanted him to stay neutral, and he wasn't. So Perez Hilton is banned on TikTok. What ended up happening is in 2020, he was an online bully on here. I think he had almost 2 million. I want to say it was like 1.6 mil he had on TikTok, and they banned him from the app. He had been obviously making his gross content, I'm going to call it. But he was also going into other people's comment sections like Charli D'Amelio and commenting on her body and things like that inappropriately. And he got banned. I'm sure Charli probably reached out to someone and was like, get this guy out of here. And they did. And it's got nothing to do with freedom of speech, as you guys know, because this is owned by TikTok. They can let you say or do whatever they want and not let you say or do whatever you want. As you know, certain words on here we're not allowed to say. Freedom of speech doesn't apply when it's someone's company, right? They can kick you off anytime they want. So they banned him. And what happens now is he keeps making other accounts to get back on, and they keep kicking him off. So that's why you would have seen him coming up like a gazillion times with new accounts, with just thousands of followers, and then it would be kicked off. So he's been trying for quite some time. It looks like the account that he's got right now, he's had up for a bit now. I think it has like 60 or 80,000 followers maybe. He's not using his name in it, which I think is why it hasn't gotten taken down yet. The other ones he was using some form of Perez, and this one he's not. So perhaps that's why it's still up. I don't know. For anyone that is just joining, I am not a hateful creator. I am not at any time have I ever put down Justin Baldoni, called him names, called his lawyers names, like nothing. That is not my style. That is not my content. So I'm just warning everybody about that now. I don't like that content, and I don't follow creators that do that content. So just to let you guys know, I want it to be respectful and kind at all times. And I appreciate that in my comments as well. So mods are in there. They will mute you if you're being nasty. So just ask things, respectfully. It's okay to have a difference of opinion, but let's clear up some misinformations tonight. All right, so let's get started. What is the first question you guys want? I know you guys have a ton because you drop them in my comments constantly. How is it looking for her? Okay, let's start there. That's a good question, actually. It depends on which venue you're talking about. In the media, both of them are screwed. in my opinion. I think this has completely damaged both of their reputations. I think this is really going to hurt them in the online world. If you ask somebody who is not online, however, they have no idea what's going on in this situation at all, to be fair. Anyone I've tried to talk to outside of the, online world, they don't know what's going on and they don't really have much of an opinion, but online it's bad. And it's mainly bad in Blake Lively's side, unfortunately, but it's nasty. Anytime I post anything on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever, the hate, you guys, oh my God. And the number one comments that I get is, you're lying, you're so full of misinformation, you're full of BS, stuff like that. And then I'll respond and I'll say, okay, tell me one thing I'm lying about in my video. Crickets. They'll be like, everything. I'm like, well, tell me one. And then we'll try and work it out. Like, just tell me one. They can't. Like, that is constant on my page. So I figured we'd do the Q&A tonight and we'll get into it. Which part of the documents made you side with Blake immediately? That's a good one. Which part of the documents? Okay. Yeah, maybe let's do that first. I won't pull out the documents. I should show you my documents here. I have every lawsuit printed out here in front of me. Like it's bad, you guys. I'm so in. Okay, let's hold on. I'm gonna get it. Just a sec. Okay, don't judge me because this looks bad. But like this is my pile of court dockets. Only the really long ones. If it's a page or two, I screenshot it. But like the 700 pages, oh gosh, in my hands are, if this got out of order, I would lose my mind. Okay, let's just look at a couple things and I'll let you know why I believe Blake Lively's allegations, let's say that. She was the one flirting with him, the one sending him messages at 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. Ruby, thank you for that. Let's chat about that one. He decided to release a voice memo that he left Blake Lively on her phone at 2 a.m. What ended up coming out was that on the court documents in his lawsuit, the timing was not our time zone. So the time was wrong. And it has a footnote right at the bottom. If you had have taken a second to read that, you would see the footnote at the bottom that says these times are not correct. Now, we know Justin Baldoni's phone call was 2 a.m. because he specifically says it. It comes out of his mouth in the phone call. However, everyone was like, she had just texted him moments before. That's the time that wasn't correct. Her text message that she had sent him, I can't remember. Someone worked out the time. I think they said it was like 8 p.m. or something. I can't remember. Whatever time it was in her time zone, it was not midnight or after. Ken, thank you. Whatever it was not the correct time zone. And it's right in the footnotes down at the bottom. So no, it was not appropriate for him to leave, in my opinion, that creepy voicemail memo at 2 a.m. And I will say this as well. I think Justin Baldoni has a persona of this feminist, spiritual, person. And I feel like he tries to portray that. And I think it sometimes comes off creepy. I don't think he might mean it to come off that way, but I think it comes off that way, if that makes sense. So I don't think he was calling her hitting on her, but I think the way he says things just comes off like he's hitting on her and being creepy, if you follow. Like, I don't think he was doing it maliciously. I don't think he was doing the majority of this stuff maliciously, to be honest. Another situation. A lot of people are talking about the birth scene now, and we got to clear this up. For the birth scene in the movie, Justin Baldoni has now submitted documents claiming it was a closed set. What that means, according to SAG guidelines, is that nobody except the people being used in that scene who are essential to that scene are allowed on the set that day. It's closed. Nobody else can come in. Nobody else can be hovering around. And there's other things. There's no personal devices like phones and stuff like that allowed to be used. There's no cameras or anything like that allowed to be used except their own. Monitors are supposed to be turned off or turned so only the essential parties are able to see it. There's a whole bunch of things. And he says that they actually followed a closed set policy every day of filming. We now know that that is not true. We had one of his good friends, unfortunately, post a picture from the day that the birth scene was recorded. And it looks like she took it with her cell phone, and it was them filming. It shows her on set. It shows the monitors on. It shows her taking a picture of it. And none of that was supposed to be able to be happened. If anything, she wasn't supposed to be on set. She's a choreographer, and she was not working on that, and she shouldn't have been there. So they were just good friends. So there was a bunch of things with that. As for the gyno, the OBGYN, who was between Blake Lively's legs, she didn't like it. He was introduced to her as one of Justin Baldoni's BFFs. She was like, why is he hired to be the guy who's between my legs? Like, she just didn't like that. And she's allowed to not like that. I wouldn't like that either. It should have been like, just a random extra, an actor from the guild, hired for that. And instead they flew this guy in who's BFFs with Justin, for that particular scene. Like, he should have been in another scene. But anyway, Blake didn't like that. Now, Blake, in her document, actually, you know what? I'm going to read you exactly what Blake says in this, because people have construed this quite a bit. Here it is. On the day of shooting the scene in which Miss Lively's character gives birth, Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath suddenly pressured Miss Lively to simulate full nudity. Okay, simulate means pretend full nudity, right? So she's going to have that prosthetic belly, right? That's simulating. Despite no mention of nudity for this script or this scene in the script, her contract, or in her previous creative discussions. That's another thing that's not allowed. You're not allowed moments before filming to throw it on someone that you want them naked, simulating nakedness, partial nakedness, no nudity. You're not allowed to throw that on. It has to be something like 24 hours according to the guild. So you're not allowed to do that. So that's one issue. Mr. Baldoni insisted to Miss Lively that women give birth naked, and that his wife had ripped her clothes off during labor. He admits to saying all this too. He claimed it was not normal for women to remain in their hospital gowns while giving birth. I completely disagree. I kept my hospital gown on for both births. There was no way I was going to be naked. Miss Lively disagreed, but felt forced into a compromise that she would be naked from below the chest down. So here's what that means. Oh, and it's got a footnote here. I got to read the footnote. Generally, nudity below the waist in film utilizes a small piece of nude fabric glued around the female actor's genitalia to provide some minimal privacy without disturbing the shot. And in brackets it says, because that fabric is not able to have visible straps from profile camera angles. Now this says generally. This doesn't say, in my opinion, that this is what Blake wore, but this says generally this is what actresses or actors wear. I looked this up, and it's true. You can get this glued on fabric. Or you can also get something called briefs, which is kind of really thin, skinny underwear, kind of like thongs. And you can get something called thongs, which again are the same thing. They're all just like barely any material, but it's to make it look from camera angles like you're naked. You're simulating nudity, right? You're pretending you're naked for the camera when you're actually not. So in the scene, Blake has her Johnny shirt on, but it's just draped over her. Like it's open on the shoulders some, it's hanging off her, but she's got it kind of tucked under her chest. And then she's got the big prosthetic belly. And then according to Justin's lawsuit, she's wearing briefs. So that means she's got this skinny little underwear type thing that's called a modesty garment, wearing that, okay? And then she doesn't really have the like hospital blanket thing over her. She's got her bare legs. And in different scenes, she's got at one point, I think, nurses holding her leg, and then he's holding her legs up. Like she's not in stirrups during that part of the scene. People are holding her legs, and they're bare legs, like completely naked and completely spread open, guys. Like completely. Anyone who's ever had a pap test knows what I mean when I say it is so intimidating to be in a position with your legs spread open, no matter what you're wearing. Okay? It's completely intimidating. It's uncomfortable. So she's got this little piece of material covering her crotch, her legs spread wide open, and he's like, hey, this is my BFF. He's going to be your gyno. So she listed that as saying this was uncomfortable. And she has every right to say that. And he countered it and said, yeah, like I did do that. He tries to say that this guy, his friend that was the gyno had all these awards and stuff, but like, who cares? You didn't need an award-winning doctor to look at Blake's crotch. But anyway, whatever. That's a whole other thing. Okay, then it goes on. When the birth scene was filmed, the set was chaotic, crowded, and utterly lacking in standard industry protections for filming nude scenes, such as choreographing the scene with an intimacy coordinator, having a signed nudity rider, or simply turning off the monitors so the scene was not broadcast to all crew on set and on their personal phones and iPad. And now we know that actually did happen because his buddy, whoever this girl was, came and posted a picture of it saying she was there that day. We know she was there. We know the monitors were on and we know she was taking pictures of it. So that's actually true. And we already had a witness come forward and say that. Mr. Heath and Mr. Baldoni also failed to close the set, allowing non-essential crew to pass through while Miss Lively was mostly nude. So she's not claiming to be nude. She's saying mostly nude, with her legs spread wide in stirrups and only a small piece of fabric covering her genitalia. Now, again, she wasn't in the stirrups for the actual filming parts of the scene. Her legs were being held, but when she would put her legs down, the stirrups would have been down there for her to like rest her legs in, but you're still spread wide open, right, in those stirrups. Among the non-essential persons present that day was Wayfarer co-chairman Mr. Sarowitz, who flew in, yada, yada, yada. Miss Lively was not provided with anything to cover herself between takes until after she had made multiple requests. She got her assistant to bring her something. And then she talks about Mr. Baldoni's friend was in the intimate role. His face and hands were in close proximity to her nearly nude genitalia. So she doesn't say she's naked. She says nearly nude, which is what she is. And he attested to that by saying she had that brief on. So all of this is true. Like, it's true. And she was uncomfortable. Bottom line. And he doesn't try and deny that. Like, he admits to all this. Anyway, okay. I just had to share that part. Now, and actually, we'll keep going a little bit for this because there's another part I want to talk about. The video that Jamie Heath shows is another hot topic lately because people are forgetting what was actually written and said about that. Okay, here's the scoop. Jamie Heath was also a director on set. He is employed by Wayfarer as well. And Jamie Heath ended up showing Blake Lively a video of his wife giving birth. She is in a tub in their living room. I guess it's their living room. She's buck naked and she's giving birth. This is when they're trying to convince her that they want her to be naked in the birthing scene. A lot of people were commenting the other day on my post saying that she lied and claimed that it was at lunch sometimes, and then it was on the closed set, which they couldn't have their phones. And people were just getting confused kind of about what she had said. So I'm actually going to show you. Uh-oh. Did I just get this mixed up? Yes, I did. Oh, that goes here. Okay. I'm going to read to you what she said about that scene so that there's no misunderstanding. So she said... Okay. Oh, the other thing people are saying is that she claimed it was I can't say the word, can I? A corno with a P video. She didn't claim that that's what that was. She said when she first saw it, that's what she thought it was because it's a naked woman. She was like, oh my God. And then she realized what it was. So this is what she says went down that day. Mr. Heath approached Miss Lively and her assistant on set. So she doesn't specify where it happened, but Justin Baldoni does. He said it was in the lunchroom or while they were having lunch, one or the other. I can't remember. I think it was in the lunchroom on set, and started playing a video of a fully nude woman with her legs spread apart, which is true. We've seen the pictures. Miss Lively thought he was showing her inappropriate video and stopped him. Mr. Heath explained that the video was his wife giving birth. Miss Lively was alarmed and asked Mr. Heath if his wife knew he was sharing the video, to which he replied, yeah, she isn't weird about this stuff, as if Miss Lively was weird for not welcoming it. Miss Lively and her assistant excused themselves, stunned that Mr. Heath had shown them a nude video. Justin Baldoni admitted all of that as well. He said the exact same thing. He said, Blake said, is your wife okay showing me this? And that she walked away. She said to him, yeah, I'll look at this some other time or whatever. Like, no, and left. And the assistant was there. So we know in court, they're going to have that assistant as a witness as well, right? But he admits to it as well. You got to give someone warning and ask them if they want to see a video before you show your wife with her legs spread open, naked, giving birth. You got to give a heads up, guys. You got to be like, I want to show you this video. Are you okay watching it? My wife's naked. She's okay with it though. Like, you don't just be like, hey, check this out. And I'm sorry. Now he's got to put it in the court docket. Blake Lively's team has asked for that video so they can use it to show the court. Like, I wonder how his wife feels about that now. Like, Mrs. Heath, are you okay with this now that all these lawyers are going to see you naked giving birth? Like, not good. But anyway, it's going to be in the court docket as long as they produce what they're supposed to produce. Okay, that's it for that part. Okay, I know I just went on a kind of a tangent there, but I think it's important to share that part. Claire's saying, can we all be nice and kind? Just a reminder, guys, if you are in here sharing your perspective, make sure it's respectful or my mods will mute. All right, let's get into some questions here because I just ranted a long time on why I believe Blake Lively's claims, and that's a lot of the reasons why. You were the only one defending Blake. Sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes I feel like that. And I don't really think I'm defending Blake. I am trying to share what both sides of the court dockets actually say, as opposed to being like, Blake's a bitch and believe Justin Baldoni, you know? Nobody is being disrespectful unless you think anyone with a difference of opinion is being so. No, I love the differences of opinions, but I have to disagree with you. There are a ton being disrespectful, and there always is. People get extremely heated and emotional with this situation, and they're actually really mean. Like, I get really, really mean comments on my videos. It's terrible. There's a buttload of rude and disrespectful comments. Kira, I figured. Thanks for sharing that. Let's get into the PR smear campaign and retaliation in a sec. I just want to make sure there wasn't another question first. Hold on. If it was my birth video that was subpoenaed, I would die. Could she say no? Christina, I would as well. And I don't believe that she can say no. I don't believe so. I mean, maybe she could file something and ask the judge not to make her have to do that. But I think because Jamie Heath, like, that's part of the allegations that he would have to prove that, but I'm not sure. Yeah, that would be for a lawyer to ask. That's not good. Do you think she regrets going forward with all this? Honestly, Julie, no. I don't know if I still have the picture. Here's why Blake Lively came forward. In August, all of this hate started, right? And Blake Lively and her PR rep said nothing. There was no articles from them. There was no statements from them. It was crickets. They didn't try to defend themselves. It was literally crickets. And we didn't know anything until December when she dropped her CRD complaint. And the reason she knew what was going on is this. In her complaint, she said they hired some sort of research team to do a search on her name and her content. Okay. So this company, sorry, I'm sweating to death in the house right now, guys. I gotta put my hair up. This company went on Google or did whatever they do with this electronic stuff, and they did a search for the last however many months on her name and found out that something like 30% or something like that, don't quote me because I can't remember the exact amount here, but something like 30% of the hits on her name had to do with Justin Baldoni. And basically what this said was that there was a hit out on her. Basically, she's been in the business for over 20 years, and they said that 30%, 1/3 of your content or your stuff should, or maybe it was 70%. Maybe it was 70%. Was it 70, guys? God, anyway, should not be attached to Justin Baldoni. So because of that, they knew that there was something going on behind the scenes. Somebody was pushing content that was negative to Blake and positive to Justin. So once she got that, her lawyers started work. They issued a subpoena. Let's get into subpoenas talk. They issued a subpoena to Justin Baldoni's publicist, Jennifer Abel, who used to work at JonesWorks. JonesWorks was Stephanie Jones's company, and she was fired from there. She was fired because Stephanie Jones found out that she was trying to start her own company and allegedly was poaching Stephanie Jones's customers, reaching out to her customers, downloading and taking files that she wasn't supposed to. But she also found out that there was this whole plan of attack in place for Blake Lively. So Blake Lively's lawyers, instead of filing a subpoena under Blake Lively, they decided to use her company, Van Zandt, and file a subpoena. I think they made like a lawsuit first, then filed a subpoena to Stephanie Jones's company, Jones Work. And they ended up getting all of Jennifer Abel's text messages, emails, you name it, all of that content, because Jennifer Abel, not the swiftest move on your part, but she decided not to have a personal phone. She used her Jones Work owned phone, her work phone, for everything. For all of her work stuff, for her personal life, for everything. It was her only phone. You don't ever do that. FYI, for anyone out there who has work phones, you do not use your work phone for personal reasons because everything on there is owned by your company. All of it. Like, not good. So this, and whether you have a personal phone and a work phone, anything in your emails is owned by your business anyway. And you can have your personal emails subpoenaed, even if you have like a personal phone. So just an FYI. But anyway, she had to hand her phone over, her laptop, like whatever else. She had to hand it over when she was fired. And she knew this in her text messages. She knew it. So she hands everything over, but she asks them to release her actual phone number, like her 555-2134, whatever her number was. She was like, this has been my phone number since high school. I don't want to have to get a new phone number. Can you at least give me that back? And of course, that obviously wasn't of top priority for Stephanie Jones at that time. I'm sure she hates Jennifer Abel. So I don't know how long it took Jennifer Abel to get her number back. But in the meantime, she obviously had a different phone. She got it from Verizon, according to her complaint. But so they got everything. And Jennifer Abel stupidly, whatever, had been using this phone for everything, like for talking to Melissa Nathan, his crisis PR manager, about starting a new company and screwing over Stephanie Jones, about the fact that they were going to bury Blake Lively and that it was going to be untraceable. Like all of these content words that are all through the court documents, they came from Jennifer Abel's phone. They got all of the text messages and emails. And guys, they're so damning. I don't care what anyone says if they think this hate was organic. It absolutely was not organic. Absolutely was not organic. Now, it rolling the way it did, I think was. There were some things I also think were a bit organic. I think that them marketing this movie as a rom-com, Justin Baldoni initially wanted to release it on Valentine's Day as like a love romance movie. None of that was smart. I don't think that was good marketing. I think anyone who has experienced DV may have been offended by that. I wasn't offended by that. But I could see other people possibly being offended by that. So, of course, people were like, okay, what's with this marketing? Like, enough. However, this was also following Colleen Hoover's book. Colleen Hoover did not write this as a DV lesson or a DV story. She wrote this book as love and life after DV, if that makes sense. She wrote this book. It was inspired by her mother's story. It's a fiction story. The characters have nothing to do with her mother, but it was inspired by what her mother lived through. Her mother dealt with a similar situation. So she wrote this book, but she wrote it as a beautiful story. She wrote it as there is life after this situation. And she also wrote it showing that you can love people who do these things. Like everyone was in love with Ryle in the movie. And then you're shocked that he did these things. Like it's not this, drunk man on your couch who, is beating his wife all the time. That's what people from television believe DV is. That's not what it is. It's so many different situations, right? There's so many different examples of how DV happens. DV also happens to men. Women can abuse men. Like there's so many different versions. And her version that she was showing was that Ryle was this to her, this beautiful person, this beautiful character she created that had this like horrible, possibly unfixable flaw that ruined him for everyone, if that makes sense. Like anyway, this is how Colleen Hoover wrote this book. If you've read her book, you know what I'm talking about. This was not meant to be, you know, a lesson on how to stay away from DV or something like that or whatever. This was like the DV part in this book was meant to shock you and meant to like devastate you and realize that, you know, women aren't stupid in these situations. Women aren't, you know, dumb who are victims of DV. They are brilliant and beautiful and smart and healthy, caring women who end up in awful, horrible situations. And sometimes it's not their fault and sometimes it's unexpected and they are in love with this person and that's why they don't get out right away. And anyway, it had all to do with all of that. So when the marketing came out, it was based around Colleen Hoover's book and the love and light that she wanted shown. And they kind of went with that. And it went a little too far with the whole flower theme. And Blake Lively was not the one to say, grab your florals and your girlfriends and meet me at the movie or whatever the hell the saying was. That was created or came up with by two content creators online. And Sony loved it so much that they ran with it and they were going to use it as a marketing tag. And they got Blake to say it in one of their commercials. That's where that came from. It was not Blake saying that. But then everybody all of a sudden was hating on Blake for saying that. Everybody, instead of getting mad at the marketing, got mad at Blake. He was baking cookies. He was making flower arrangements. He was giving tours of those Blake Lively pop-ups and saying, hey, come on down. I'm going to be here all day, making flower arrangements with all of you. He did it as well. And we know from the text messages that as soon as the hate started feeding and building for Blake Lively, blaming her for the marketing, he flipped the switch. And his PR and crisis manager told him to. We've got the text messages for that. We've got the evidence of them saying, okay, no more of this. You need to switch now to DV. And he's like, yeah, find me some survivors. I'm going to interview them. Like, there's so much evidence, guys. I'm going to do a post and go through all the text messages again, just so you guys can see it all. Because it gets lost in the weeds and it's so damaging, guys. Even Perez Hilton made a video and said that he thinks Jed Wallace was doing more than what Justin Baldoni claims. He thinks Jed Wallace was doing something for them to congratulate him and thank him so much for what was going on. Like, it was 100%, in my opinion, a PR smear campaign that they got caught doing. But I think it worked a little too well because I think everyone was extremely excited to hate on Blake Lively and to tear her down. And it just steamrolled, is what I think. He wanted DV advisors to be a part of this story. What are you talking about? You know what I'm talking about. I just shared it. And when he started this movie, he was talking about DV, as was she. They were going to donate, I think, something like 1% of the proceeds, which apparently hasn't happened yet, to a charity for DV. DV was being talked about. That's not what I said. I said the marketing was being followed by all of them, including him. And then they flipped switch and he focused just on DV and left the flower theme completely behind. And unfortunately, her and the rest of the team didn't get the notice on that. And luckily, marketing was almost done at that point and the damage was already over. But yeah, that's kind of where it ended up. She was talking about her clothes and the flowers, not DV. No, that's wrong. So a lot of people say that. That's because that's the clip of the interviews you saw. If you watch the whole interview, she does talk about DV. Their marketing plan told them not to focus on DV and talk about that kind of secondary. And that's kind of what they did. But if you want to see her actual full-length interviews, you can check them out. I've saved them all on my page under my Blake Lively file or playlist. And she talks about DV in an extremely respectful manner, as do all the other actors involved as well, like Brendan Sklenar, and they all talk about it. It's just you didn't see it, unfortunately, because it got clipped. You got shown the clips. That was it. Her company was the marketing company. Her company wasn't. Ryan Reynolds owns Maximum, guys, what's it called? Maximum Effort? Anyway, and both of their filings did not say who came up with this marketing plan. Everyone assumed it was Sony, but no one has claimed it as of yet. He said something, I think it was in his filing or her filing about maximum effort being involved later on in the process, but we don't know which party planned it. But again, it's not Blake Lively, right? They were all involved in all of this, whatever the marketing plan was, and they all went with it. Can you explain the Justin in the basement? Yes. Cassandra, thank you for bringing that one up. This one, I quite enjoy chatting about this one. Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively were on the outs. Everyone knew that. She refused, as did all the other cast members. Colleen Hoover, none of them would do any PR with Justin Baldoni. They had had enough with him. They didn't like him, and they basically disowned him. So he was doing marketing all on his own, and they were doing it all together, the group of them, right? For the premiere, Blake did not want to go and be there with Justin Baldoni, and so they made a compromise. They decided they would both go separately and not run into each other. So they made a plan. He chose to go first. She chose to go second. He goes with all of his family, his friends, whoever he wanted to bring, does his thing on the red carpet, love and life. This was a huge moment for him. And then while Blake did her spin on the carpet with everyone else, he went to the basement where they had set up like a party room. They had all these tables and chairs down there. They had a ton of food. If you saw his pictures, you know what I'm talking about. A ton of food and drinks and whatever. They took all these pictures where they're like, woo, like super excited. Huge night for them. And then Blake did her spin. And then they both went to separate theaters, watched the screening, and left separately. That's what went down. But when all this broke, when her lawsuit came out, he was like, we were sent to the basement. It makes it sound so good. It makes it like, poor Justin. Poor Justin was sent to the basement. Absolutely not the case. I think the whole thing was a shit show, to be honest. I think it's awful that the two of them couldn't even be on the red carpet together. I think it's awful that she had to stay home until he did his thing. And then she came and then he had to go downstairs and party till she was done. But it's complete BS, his whole like, oh, poor me, I was in the basement. That was his choice. That was his plan. They came up with that. They were like, okay, we'll do this while she does her thing. Then we'll go here. Like, that was on them. Blake wasn't like, you have to go to the basement. Anyway, sorry. I get heated in that because I just think it was so ridiculous when I read his lawsuit and he's like, we got sent to the basement after I'd seen him with all the pictures of them partying and being super pumped and happy in the basement. It's ridiculous. Anyway. Oh, thank you, Walk Mom. So she made sure he was, not around and made everyone agree with her. Yeah, basically, none of them wanted to do it. And it wasn't just Blake Lively, right? It was the whole cast. They all refused to do any PR with him or do the red carpet. Why would the director choose to go to the basement? Because it was his plan. I guess he didn't want to go home or wait in his car, right? So they set up this like party room where they'd go while Blake came and did her thing. Maybe Blake was down there first. Who knows? I don't know where she was. She was either home or they were waiting in their limos or she was in the basement first. But wherever she was waiting until he finished his and then she showed up after. Has that ever happened before in the history of Hollywood? People not getting along on set? Oh, I'm sure. 100%. I don't know though about, I don't know who has refused to do PR with other people before, but I think if you have a really bad experience on set, you're going to end up doing that. So I can't tell you who, but I'm sure it probably has. Couldn't he have seen the screening if they were going to be in separate theaters anyway? Yeah, he totally could, but I think they wanted to do it at the same time, right? Is my guess. Yeah, he could have finished his walk on the red carpet and gone in and started his movie, but they chose not to do that. And I don't know if it was because they were going to get pictures when they left out of separate ends. I have no idea. I can't say. He's so creepy. My instincts are never wrong, and he's always made me feel icky. Cassandra, a lot of people have said that. I didn't watch him before. I had no idea who he was. I did not like him as Ryle when I first started watching the movie. Don't come at me, but I don't find him attractive, and I thought Ryle was going to be this big, attractive man. But then once the movie got started, I actually did really like him as Ryle, and I really did enjoy his portrayal of Ryle in the movie. I loved them both in this, and I'm sad that part 2 is not coming, but yeah. Same as you guys. Yeah. Yeah. I just couldn't see him as Ryle. I couldn't. And I think I'm trying to remember when it was first announced that Blake was Lily. Yeah, I can't remember if I didn't have an issue with Blake's age. I know a lot of people didn't like that they were like aging her up or something. I didn't even think of that. So that didn't bother me at all. But I don't think I had an issue with Blake being cast. I loved her in this role. I loved him in this role. So I don't know. Imagine plot twist, they do part 2. Al, imagine this goes to court and then they're like, just kidding. Here comes part 2. It's already filmed. It's ruined. Part 2 is ruined for us, guys. He is peculiar, but doesn't deserve to be treated like a creep. And I don't think he was treated like a creep, Hannah. I know, I'm going to say this though. The people involved in this situation now, the followers, are complete asshats. People are so mean with calling him, what was it they were calling him? Baldoni? Is that what it was? Baldoni? Whatever it was they were calling him, making fun of him, calling her names, making fun of her. Like, I hate that stuff. I hate it. It's not right. It's not okay. And yeah, I don't think people made him feel like a creep on set. I know that she went to him numerous times about the stuff that bothered her and he kind of just blew it off. Do you think Ryan was really making fun of him when playing Nice Pool? Yes. Here's my thoughts on that. Ryan Reynolds uses humor for everything. He is hilarious. He always has been. He has an amazing sense of humor. The two of them were hilarious together until all of this. And he uses satire a lot. When Deadpool came out, he didn't have Nice Pool as being Justin Baldoni, I don't think. Like, Nice Pool wasn't Justin Baldoni, but Nice Pool had similarities to Justin Baldoni. And so he inserted digs at Justin Baldoni, like, where's the intimacy coordinator? Like that line and stuff. I think they were totally digs at the flaws in the filming of It Ends With Us and what happened to Blake. That's just my personal opinion though. But not one of us batted an eye when we watched Deadpool because it wasn't done overtly. He wasn't like, this is Justin Pool or, this is Baldoni Pool. Like, we didn't know that that's what was happening until her complaint came out. And then we realized, hey, wait a minute. Some of the things Nice Pool was doing and saying had similarities to what he messed up on in the filming. And then people started to take notice of that. He didn't even think it was him. His lawyer said they didn't know any of this until all of you followers picked this up and then ran with it. And that's when he was like, hey, is this me? So yes, I personally think the intimacy dig, what else was there? I can't remember what else, but I do think those are like satirical digs or whatever you want to call them at the flaws in the filming of It Ends With Us. I really do. He was making a dig at the guys who call themselves nice guys that actually aren't. Okay, true, except I kind of liked Nice Pool. Like, I was sad that he died at the end. Like, I didn't picture Nice Pool as not really being a nice guy. I don't know. Maybe I didn't pick up properly on it. Maybe he didn't watch the movie. Doesn't seem like everyone's cup of tea. Oh, I'm sure he watched it. He was right in with Blake and Blake and Ryan at that time. I'm sure he did. Maybe he didn't watch the movie. Doesn't seem like, oh, sorry, just read that. You defending the Nice Pool studded is ick. I don't know what the Nice Pool studded is, but I just told you I think it is digs towards him. So I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh, you meant stuff? Hold on. You defending the Nice Pool stuff is ick? How is that ick? It's satirical and it's making fun of not having an intimacy coordinator on set when you're supposed to. It's law. Like, it's part of the rules for the union in SAG. Like, whatever. It's Ryan Reynolds. He's good. He's funny. He made more digs than that, which were clearly towards Justin. They weren't clearly towards Justin because none of us had any idea that it was towards Justin until well after the lawsuit came out. And then we were like, hey, wait a minute. So they weren't clearly towards Justin. No one would have known until her lawsuit came out that they had anything directed towards him at all. So I disagree with that. Isn't Blake the one that didn't want the intimacy coordinator? No, good one. Let's talk about this one. That's another good one. The text message about the intimacy coordinator. The text message chain is so misconstrued. It drives me nuts. This is probably one of my biggest, like, are you kidding me? Here's the text message chain. It is Justin and Blake. Justin writes Blake. I should pull it up. I'll just try and go from memory here. Justin writes Blake and says, hey, hired an intimacy coordinator. Super excited. I really think you're going to like her. I'll set up an intro. And Blake's response is, oh, that's okay. I don't need an intro. I'll meet her. I trust you. I'll meet her on set. What she was saying no to is the intro. She was like, no, that's okay. Like, I don't need a, like, hi, I'm Blake. Hey, I'm Julie. Nice to meet you. Great. She didn't need that. She was like, I don't need an intro. I trust you. I'm sure she's awesome. I'll just meet her when we start our planning. That's what it was. And then he writes, I think it was a female editor or female director. I can't remember what it was. And says, hey, just reached out to Blake about the intimacy coordinator. And the way he writes it, I didn't like, because that's why everybody jumped on it. It was like, she doesn't want to meet until we get started. It may affect things. Just wanted you to know. And did you see the response from the editor or the director? So they were like, no problem. Great. Like, because it wasn't a big deal. She didn't need an introduction. She needed to work with the intimacy coordinator, which she did. So no, she absolutely wanted an intimacy coordinator, and there was one hired. The problem was that the intimacy coordinator wasn't there for certain scenes in the movie, and Blake felt she should have been. And one of those was the dancing scene. But the dancing scene wasn't supposed to have any kissing or touching or macking on each other at all. It was just slow dancing and looking like the whole room was going to be disappeared because they were so into each other. That was it. So once it turned into what he made it, Blake was like, we should have had an intimacy coordinator here because I was uncomfortable. That's what the problem was. Did I miss your take on Baldoni being present? Oh, hold on. At the deposition or Friedman in general? No, we haven't talked about that yet. Ashley, good one. What Ashley's referring to is Blake Lively. So first of all, Blake Lively's deposition. Blake Lively was scheduled, I think it was in June, for the deposition. Everybody immediately, because it didn't happen, said, oh, she's scared. She's hiding from her deposition. She's running. False. It came out after that the two teams decided they needed more time. Baldoni's team wasn't ready for the deposition, so they did a time extension. They were like, we need more time. So they pushed it. And then they picked whatever day the next one was. I think it was it the 17th? The 17th. That was her deposition day. A couple days before that, Blake Lively writes Justin Baldoni's team and says, listen, you're supposed to be giving us the film footage. You haven't even given us tracking receipts yet. What's going on? When are we going to get it? We're supposed to have our deposition on the 17th. If you don't have the stuff to us by the 11th, we may not be able to do that. We need to know if you can do that by the 11th. They write back, and this is what they said. Yes, we agreed to moving the deposition. Let us know what days you're available, and we'll have you the film stuff by the 11th. Blake's team then writes back and says, wait, we're confused here. We don't want the deposition moved. We're meeting on the 17th. As long as you could do it on the 11th, and you said you could. So his team wanted it moved. You can tell. And then there was another conversation where they said again about moving the depot. And Blake's team actually writes back and they're like, why don't you just admit you want this pushed? Like, what are you doing? I know what they were doing. They were trying to make it look like she was running from her deposition again, because this has been their narrative. This has been the spin in the media from Perez Hilton and all these people who are getting allegedly talking points from Team Baldoni, from Melissa Nathan and Tag. I feel like that's what they did. So it didn't get moved. But then for some reason, the day before the deposition on the 16th, Judge Lyman decides that's the best day to file the dismissal for Jed Wallace in the court docket. Now, what that means is this. She was suing Jed Wallace in New York. Jed Wallace lives in Texas, works everywhere. And she files the lawsuit. Then Jed Wallace files a motion to dismiss. The judge comes back the day before her deposition and says, we have to dismiss this because of jurisdiction. He says, Jed Wallace says he doesn't work in New York. He doesn't do anything here. You have to prove that he works in New York for it to be a legal filing, a lawsuit in New York. If not, like if you can't fix it, then you have to file in Texas. So he tells her you have to refile or completely redo it in Texas. They end up having this meet and confer with all the lawyers that day. And the lawyers are like, oh, my camera or my light died. Hold on, guys. I have to go get my other light or we're going to have bad lighting. Look how bad it is without it. Just a sec. All right. How many hours have we been on here that light ran out? Oh my God. I just blinded myself. Woo, that was bright. Hi. Okay. There we go. So they have this meet and confer. All the lawyers are like chatting about what to do. And it comes out that Jed Wallace's lawyer, Babcock, I think is his last name, he can't attend Blake Lively's deposition if there's no lawsuit against Jed Wallace. They don't know at that point if Blake is going to refile the lawsuit and change it to show he works in New York, or if they're going to completely redo it and refile it in Texas, or not do it at all, right? There was always that option too. So they're like, we need to know, like, we want to be at this deposition for Jed Wallace because we want to ask Blake Lively questions. So we need to be there. And the judge is like, okay, what are we going to do here? So then it just went back and forth, and they realized there was no time to do anything by the next day when Blake was supposed to do her deposition. So the judge got them to decide what to do, and they all agreed we have to move it. So they moved it to the 31st. She ends up getting deposed on the 31st. And guys, I just think it's so terrible. And I know you're going to come at me for it, but I can't help it. I think it's so terrible. Here's what went down. Blake Lively heads to this deposition, and it came out, I don't know if it was her legal team or someone said before that Ryan Reynolds wasn't going to be there with her, that it was just going to be her lawyers. Someone else said that there was something in like the Daily Mail that said she was there with her sister and Ryan Reynolds. I don't know which is true, to be honest. I can't tell you. But I did hear earlier, I thought it was from her lawyers, that she was just going with her lawyers. But anyway, she gets there and enrolls Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, Jennifer Abel, Melissa Nathan, and 8 attorneys. And only 2 questioned her, but 8 attorneys. They have every right to be there. Let me say that first. Legally, in a deposition, if it's against you, you have every right to be there. But typically, you send your lawyer. Jed Wallace wasn't there. Jed Wallace had his lawyer there. He didn't come and sit in it. He was like, yeah, you take care of this. All they're doing is questioning and recording answers, right? For the 5 of them to stroll in like that looks so bad. I'm sorry. It just looks so bad. Steve Sarowitz, why did he have to be there? He's the money behind all of this, but that's pretty much it. There's no allegations really against him. It's just he's being drug in because it's his company. He's part of it. Like Jamie Heath, he's got a couple allegations against him. I could see maybe why he wants to be there. Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan, why is his publicist and his crisis manager have to be there? They could have just went. I kind of feel Justin should have been there. I know it's a bad look maybe that he was there, because if it's, she's accusing him of sexual harassment, you don't really want the man there facing you, but I think he should have been there just to hear what's going on. But anyway, it just looks so bad that there was the 5 of them and 8 attorneys facing her down. And from this source that leaked what Blake Lively was wearing, that Justin Baldoni was facing off to her, that he allegedly told someone he wanted her to say it all to his face, it got leaked 3 minutes later to TMZ, to the authors who were in Melissa Nathan at Tag's list of who they're in contact with. Like, you can't tell me Wayfair's team didn't leak that 3 minutes later. And it was not in Blake's favor. It was not making this any better for Blake. It was in Justin's favor. Like him, like, if she's going to lie about me, she's going to say it to my face. Like, come on. Anyway, 3 minutes after it started, it got leaked to TMZ that he was there. Anyway, but according to the thing, there were some people that were there and they said that she didn't even flinch. And here's my thoughts on that. Everybody's like, unexpected, shocking. Justin Baldoni was there. I don't believe it was unexpected or shocking, because one of the stipulations that Blake had for this was that she wanted a list of everyone that was going to be in attendance so that she knew who was going to be there to prepare herself. So Justin's team would have listed all of them on there if that was the case. Or her lawyers probably would have got up and walked out, right? They wouldn't have been like, listen, I know they didn't tell us all these 5 are going to be here, but just roll with it. They would have been like, screw you, we're leaving, right? Anyway, just my thoughts. Most people in lawsuits have huge teams. He also had a huge, yes, and I do agree with that. Like the 8 lawyers, I think is a bit much for the deposition side of it. Most of the lawyers are doing the grunt work, the making the paperwork and the doing the digging and all that stuff. So they absolutely did not need 8 lawyers in there. But I understand what you're saying. Like they have a huge legal team involved in this. So there are a lot of lawyers involved in this. Like I think each of them have like what, 3 or 4 that write stuff just for the docket alone. So can you explain the Taylor Swift involvement in this? I don't get, oh, hold on. Oh, I can't drop it down. How she was involved. Yes. The Taylor Swift thing, guys, is another thing that drives me nuts. We have no idea what Taylor Swift is thinking or feeling in this situation at all. Despite Perez Hilton telling you they hate each other, despite TMZ telling you there's a source saying they had a falling out, we have no idea. When all of this first broke, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but for Blake Lively's birthday, Taylor Swift took Blake and everybody to her, is it Cape Cod? Her house in Cape Cod for Blake's birthday. Like Taylor Swift was her friend at this time. No, they haven't hung out and we haven't seen him in public, but we also haven't seen a lot of Blake Lively. She's gone to a couple events for promotion stuff and things like that, but you wouldn't go to that with a friend. We haven't seen her go out to supper or, go I don't know, strolling, shopping or something. We've seen her with her husband and her kids a handful of times. I don't even know if that much, but we're not seeing her doing her normal celebrity stuff, right? She's not going out to dinner. She's not traveling with friends. And she's not going to want Taylor Swift or Ryan Reynolds or anybody like that speaking out on her behalf and getting eaten alive. Same with him. Emily Baldoni hasn't said anything in this situation. None of his family or friends have, because they don't want their family and friends involved in getting eaten alive in this. It's bad PR to get involved in this situation right now. People are really mean in this. It's bad. Colleen Hoover came forward and supported Blake Lively, had to deactivate her Instagram account. All the co-stars that came forward to support Blake Lively had to turn off their comment sections. His ex-podcast host who quit had to go and turn off her comments and basically peace out for a while because of the bullying and harassment, because she quit once she found out what the accusations were. And that to me said a lot. She knew Baldoni for 5 years. If she thought for 1 minute none of this was true and that he was such a great guy, she wouldn't have quit and left. There was obviously more to that. And she actually hinted that there was more to that she would share, but then she got so much hate, she never did. It's not good. Thanks, Liz. Okay, as for Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's team has issued one statement, and it was after the subpoena from Justin Baldoni's team, or the talk of that. And basically what that statement said was Taylor Swift had nothing to do with this whole situation except the song in the movie. The situation that he's talking about where he was so intimidated by Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds when he went to the apartment to talk to Blake, and how he claimed Taylor Swift was in his face saying, oh, the script is so great that Blake wrote, you should totally go with it, blah, blah, blah. Taylor says no. She's like, I didn't talk to him at Blake's penthouse other than saying hello. There was no conversation about the script. She says none of that happened. It was all just exaggerated and made to look bad. At the bottom of her statement, though, I thought that was interesting. It said perhaps he should focus more on the allegations against him. Right? Sexual harassment, retaliation, and the PR smear campaign. Not Blake Lively trying to take over his movie, which is what he tried to flip it to, right? Let's move the script over here so you won't see what I actually did over here. And it worked. It unfortunately worked. So no, Taylor Swift has not come forward to say that she's in a fight with Blake. Nobody has. Nobody has come out negatively towards Blake. None of the cast or crew or anything has come out to say exactly what happened on set either, which I think is so fascinating, because even a boom guy who's holding the sound equipment, where are they? I can't believe nobody's come forward. It has been crickets from anyone on set who would be witnesses. And I think we're going to see a ton of witnesses during court. We already know that her coworkers, who I'm assuming are young Lily and Ryle's sister, Jenny Slate, we already know they're going to be testifying in court as to how they felt sexually harassed as well. So, guys, there's so much to this. Justin's wife has left him over this, and he still keeps pushing this. Shows how little he cares. Caroline, that's not actually true. I hope I said your name right. Justin's wife hasn't left him that we know of. There was a rumor going around that happened. I actually made a video on that. The reason people thought that was because Justin's wife, Emily, deleted her profile bio write-up under her name on her Instagram. She had her husband, Justin, tagged in that, but she also had her kids' names written, and she wiped it out. She didn't delete any of her pictures, though. They've always portrayed like a strong couple in the media. And for their 12th anniversary, I think it was, just a little while ago, they both posted pictures and statements, like, you know, lovey statements of each other. So I don't believe that's true at all. I think it was just a rumor. And just to tell you the amount of hate I get, I tried to talk about that rumor and dispel it and say I don't believe it's true, and here's why. And I got so much hate because everyone just heard me say at the beginning, Emily and Justin Baldoni are getting divorced is the latest rumor going around. And they all attacked me. They didn't watch the rest of my video. They were all like, I can't believe you're saying this. I didn't say it. People are saying it to me. I'm just clearing up that I don't think it's true. Anyway. Overdone, they're trying to fake it. Oh, Lila, you mean you think that they're having problems? Do you know what? My personal opinion, they've got to be having problems. Same with Ryan and Blake. Ryan and Blake. They've got to be having problems. This would be so hard on any relationship. Imagine having to live through this hate and stress and the money and the litigation and you name it, and be married to someone, right? Like it's got to be so tough on their relationships and their family life. It really does, for both sides. I think definitively backing either one with, I think you got cut off. Were you going to say without evidence or something? Don't you think Ryan's nice pool was a way of supporting his wife? Yes, I think it was a way of him satirically making digs about what should have happened on set and didn't. Yeah, I completely do. They're trying to play up their relationship. They could be. At the end of the day, Blake accused a man of SA. No, she didn't. It wasn't sexual assault. It was harassment. Very different. Would have had him taken into shackles away from his family. No, you're mixing the two up. And I think maybe a lot of people do. SA, which is assault, would be like grape without the G, or, grabbing your butt or something like that. That is not what she's accusing him of. She's accusing him of making her feel uncomfortable in a sexual manner at a work site or at her workplace. It's harassment is what she's accusing him of. Very different things. Like saying inappropriate things that just made her feel uncomfortable, or doing something inappropriate that made her feel uncomfortable. If they weren't on the set of the movie and he had to drug his lips down her neck, that would have been SA, but it was during a movie scene. So it's more SH, if you get what I'm saying. Blake doesn't even speak about SH anymore, obsessed with anyone not liking her. Blake doesn't have to talk about the SH. It's already been laid out in her complaint. She already has all the evidence because she was there. She experienced it. She has all the videotapes, the recordings, etc. And he didn't deny any of it. So she doesn't have to get any evidence of that. She already has it. So all she's looking for right now is for the other two counts that she's suing him for, which is retaliation and the PR smear campaign. She needs the text messages and the emails showing the actual proof and evidence of that for her litigation in March. So that's what's being talked about right now. The SH part isn't being disputed. She's already got all the evidence for that. JB's late night voicemail, that was so creepy. Why does no one talk about that? Do you know what? People did, I found at the time. When I first posted that, when it came out, I do find people realized how creepy and gross that sounded. And I think he thought it was a win on his part, and it wasn't. I think there was more people who were like, ew, than like, oh, he's sweet. So I think that was a swing and a miss for him. But yeah. Why is she a liar? She's not. Angel, tell me something that you think she's lied about, and we'll chat about it. Believe the women. There's too much internalized misogyny. We can't believe all women. But I do agree there's way too much misogyny in our world, unfortunately. But if you've got evidence, believe the woman. If there's no evidence, sometimes women lie, unfortunately. Oh, no, I was asking who said it. Oh, you were asking who said Blake lied? Everybody does, unfortunately. A lot of the Team Baldoni people constantly say Blake's a liar, but I haven't found anything yet that she's lied about in her complaint. Where can I get a pair of those selective lenses? Helen, these are from Costco. They're my, what are they called? I call them cheaters. What are they called? Reading glasses. I can't see the screen without them now. I'm getting too old. She was flirting with him? Dude. What do you think of this case overall? I'm fascinated with this case. I'm obsessed. I can't stop reading the court dockets and going through everything with a fine-tooth comb. I hate it personally. I think the whole thing has ruined them both publicly in social media world. I think it's ruined his career completely. I don't think it's going to ruin hers or Ryan's. I think their career was too strong to start with. But I don't think Justin Baldoni is ever going to work again, to be honest. And not because I think what he did was like, I don't even know how to explain it. I feel like just people aren't going to want to touch him because of this drama now, if that makes sense. Please. Oh, thanks, Laura. No teeth. That's definitely flirting. You know exactly what she meant. I do know what she meant, but I don't think you do. This one cracks me up with the one where she says like, I can't remember the wording. Basically, she's saying I'm all bark and no bite. And she words it differently than saying I'm all bark, no bite. And instead of saying no bite, she says no teeth or something like that. All of the people that were reading that and hate Blake Lively twisted it to make it sound like something sexual, and it 100% wasn't. I wish I had the text here right now. Big studios will definitely think twice about Wayfair. I don't think Wayfair is going to be around much longer. I don't. I think Wayfair is going to be done. And it doesn't help that all the money made for this movie is now going to legal filings for Justin, Steve Sarowitz, Melissa Nathan, all those guys. Like they're all having to pay a shitload of money for these lawyers, as is Blake and Ryan. But Blake and Ryan would have a lot more money backing them than they do. And unfortunately, I do think Blake Lively is going to recoup some of these attorney fees in the end. I really do. They've been playing too many games. And when you play games, you know what happens, right? You F around and find out. I think the judge is going to be pissed. I think they're going to get some of the money back for all of the times they're having to fight for these disclosures and these interrogatories. Perez Hilton, he's going to be in shit if the judge grants Blake Lively sanctions against him. Perez Hilton right now is doing everything he can to stay relevant and posting a bunch of letters and garbage in the court docket. He's using ChatGPT, so the cases he's quoting aren't even real. Like, it's so bad. Like, it's so bad. And he's trying to fight this, and he can't. And she's going to end up getting the subpoena because she needs those documents from content creators. Wayfair has told her, go to the content creators. The judge has said, go to the content creators. So as if they're going to say, like, leave the content creators out. No, that they're all saying, go to the content creators. So that's what she did. And now Perez Hilton's trying to fight it, and with ridiculous reasons, and it's costing her money to have to like counter him. And now she wants her legal fees covered because of it. Tell us about the sanctions motion, please. So she has filed 2 sanctions now. The first one was against Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman. It was a doozy, to say the least. Here's the scoop with this. It's going to be really tricky only because he's a lawyer. There's a fine line. The judge even said this in the ruling. He's like, there's an invisible line that you're very close to here between attorney-client confidentiality and fighting for your client and defamation and breaking an order that the court filed, right? So what's happened is this. Brian Friedman's an asshole. Nobody disagrees with that, right? Like he loves the spotlight. He loves celebrity crap. I think he wants to be a celebrity. He loves tearing people down in the media. He loves defending his clients in the media. And he was going like balls to the wall on this situation when it first happened. He was all over everything, bashing Blake Lively and promoting Justin Baldoni, which lawyers do. but you have to do it in a professional, respectful manner or you get called out, right? He didn't, unfortunately. And he went on programs that aren't respectful in any way anyway, like TMZ, their podcast, Megyn Kelly, like, no, dude. So he's doing all this crap. Blake's team is like, we've had enough. So they go to court. Hey, K-Mac, thank you, darling. Thank you for going for the live goal. Yeah, thank you. So they go to court and they're like, look, judge, you need to shut this guy up. This is damaging our case. It's tainting the jury pool. It's unprofessional. This is what we want. So what they said is they wanted to insert this New York law about being professional, acting like a lawyer should, professionalism, all that stuff. They were like, we want this law implemented for everybody involved in this case. And Brian Friedman was all about it. Absolutely. Let's do it. I'm all about it. I'm going to be a professional from now on. All about it. So they did. They made this motion in court that all parties had to abide by this order, and he didn't and hasn't. And he may be in shit. So Blake filed all of the examples of all of the crap he's been saying. Now, some of it would be him just defending his client, but some of it, like calling her a narcissist, not part of it. You can't say that's just defending your client. That is defamation. That's not good. So some of it definitely crossed the line. We just don't know what the judge is going to rule in this. And if he thinks enough of a line was crossed, and if it actually is, I don't know if he's going to rule if it's defamation or not. I think he's going to rule if Friedman broke this order of his, this court order, which I think he did. And so what Blake's team is asking for is for, Emmy, thank you, darling. Blake's team is asking for Brian Friedman to be sanctioned, which means a number of things. But basically, he's going to have to shut his mouth or be off the case, but also to pay Blake Lively's legal fees for having to come after him on this. So not all of her legal fees for this whole case, but the legal fees that she has incurred because of him. So like when she went to court and had to put this order against him to shut the hell up, that he'd have to pay for. When she filed like motions against him about what he's doing, the sanctions, he'd have to pay for that. All the time, all these lawyers who cost like thousands of dollars an hour put in to this filing, he would have to pay for that. So that's the first sanctions. The second is Perez Hilton. Perez Hilton, who is like blowing up the court docket right now for content on his everything page. He just wants attention. He loves this. And then he gets on there and he's like, my children are in jeopardy, as he's posting pictures of his kids on every account and website and dancing with them. And they're all over his media. Like, give me a break, dude. But anyway, he loves this. And so he has been on Reddit. He's got his own channel now in this hateful Reddit group. This, it ends with lawsuits or whatever the hell it's called. They're nasty in there. They're absolute Blake haters. They're major pro Justin, and they love Perez Hilton. Love him. He's like on a throne in there. They're all like, Perez Hilton! And they gave him his own room in there now where he can plug in all his videos and listen to them, boost him up. So he's in there every day being like, guess what, guys? I'm filing a new letter. And they're like, yay, Perez, say this, do that. And he's like, okay, I will. Like, it's ridiculous. But he has now filed, he claims like 10 letters in the court docket. Blake's team has to spend money to respond to all these, and she's had enough. So her lawyers in the last letter to him said, we want all of this dropped, like kicked out, all of his garbage here. We want him compelled to have to give us all of his emails and text messages, and we want him sanctioned and that he has to pay for all of this work we've done to get this content from him. Just a reminder, Perez Hilton's in no trouble. Well, I mean, he might be now having to pay sanctions, but Perez Hilton's not being sued. Okay, I know a lot of people think he's in trouble. He's not. Perez is in zero trouble as of now in this situation. The reason she wants everything from Perez Hilton is because it has to do with his working with Team Baldoni. And we know 100% that's what happened. So in the interrogatories, which is like discovery, the stuff that she asked for from all of Team Baldoni, she asked for Melissa Nathan at TAG, and everybody else. And Melissa Nathan at TAG is the only one who's complied so far and given her stuff. But the stuff that she was given wasn't all of it. And now Blake's like, where's all my stuff? Hold on, I need my water, you guys. So he is not in trouble. Just a sec. He's got all of the emails and text messages that have to do with this situation that Melissa Nathan named him in. So Melissa Nathan from Tag gave his name, as well as 3 other content creators, a whole bunch of news people as well, but 4 content creators specifically. Billy Bush, Candace Owens, Perez Hilton, Andy Signor from Popcorn Planet. Those 4 names, according to Melissa Nathan at Tag, in her sworn affidavit, all were working on behalf of Team Baldoni. Perez Hilton has said numerous times he has inside sources. He wrote a letter the other day, I think yesterday, and went in the court docket, and he says, I have never been in contact or something like that in this situation with Justin Baldoni's lawyer or legal team. We didn't say that. We said Melissa Nathan at Tag. And you know that. So he's trying to use his words correctly or sneakily and act like he's innocent when he's not. But anyway, how do we know Press was working with John? Oh, yeah, I'm getting into that, Thrifty. So Melissa Nathan gives her document and says those 4 names, Perez Hilton being one, and says that they worked on behalf of or at the request of Melissa Nathan at Tag regarding this situation. It said that they seeded, generated, created, there was another couple words, content on behalf of Team Baldoni. We don't know what that is yet, but we know that happened. And that is not marketing stuff. That is not PR material. That is specifically information that was given to them about Blake Lively and the Justin Baldoni situation that then Perez Hilton took to his platforms and made a video on. So whether that was like, okay, we're going to focus on the fact that Blake Lively got married on a plantation for this week. Like, here's your talking points. It could have been that. It could have been, we're going to file, I don't know, a motion tomorrow about this. Here's your stuff to talk about. It could have been Justin Baldoni is in Hawaii right now. Here's some press shots. Talk about that. Like, we don't know what it is, but we know it happened 100%. We know he was communicating and posting for Team Baldoni, 100%. We know that about Andy Signor, Candace Owens, Billy Bush, and Perez Hilton. And for some reason, nobody is talking about that like it's a big deal. We have been fed possible BS from those 4 content creators or skewed info for God knows how long, and nobody's talking about it. You did it, champ. Team Blake all the way. Hate that Baldoni guy now. Ruthie, I love you. All the facts are facts. Great job. Keep up. Are you being serious right now? Were you Team Baldoni before and now you're starting to see what's happening? Because if that's the case, I love you to bits, Ruth. And this made my whole evening worth it. If one person saw the light. Billy Bush is so over. I think he was over a long time ago. Dog Cat Mama, thank you. I appreciate you. I don't believe Andy is being paid. People said the same thing about him and Amber Heard. Let me clarify on that, guys. I don't think any of them were paid. My opinion only. I don't think they were getting money for this. I think they were doing this because they get money on their platforms for this. This was, yes, Ruthie! I could cry right now. Thank you for listening tonight. Thank you for keeping an open mind, and thank you for seeing the light. It's so frustrating when people just listen to the misinformation. It drives me crazy. I was Team Baldoni until you started covering both sides. Lisa, I love you. Oh, so wait, they were working on behalf of Baldoni team, really? Yes, 100,000 gazillion %. Here, let me find my exact wording so you guys know exactly what these creators were doing. Oh my God, you should see the legal filings I have in here right now. There's so much. I got to find the actual correct ones. Hold on. Oh, take a look at this. Let me pull this down. This is the graph that was included in Blake Lively's CRD complaint. This shows the green is the positive, The red is the negative. This shows the hits that were happening online, the things that were being posted in regards to Blake Lively in, is this just the year 2000? Oh God, I gotta zoom in, hold on. What does it say? That's 2020. So it starts, hold on guys. It starts June 14th of 2024 and she goes to December. Okay. Wait, how is that possible? Oh, each thing is, it breaks the month down into different days. Okay. Again, I've got the glasses on, but I still can't see a lot. Okay, here we go. So this is June. Okay. So all the people are like, we hated Blake Lively. Everybody hated Blake Lively. No, you didn't. There were a little couple hits here and there, but look at the majority, all green, all green. Then check out this. So let me zoom in so you guys can see the month here. Okay, there we go. This right here is the movie release, guys. This is August. Look at the red. That's all she had on her. Bad hits. That's it. Then, so it keeps going, bad hits. She's all bad hits. And then briefly, where is it? Oh my God, there. Briefly, her CRD complaint comes out and she gets like a little positive. But the majority, since this alleged PR smear campaign, look at the change. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, she got canceled for a reason. And it's a PR smear campaign. This is before. Okay, anyway, I just got off track here. Hold on. Let me find the actual wording of what these content creators were doing. It's so important, you guys, to know the exact wording of this, and then you'll understand exactly who has been feeding you what and what you've been listening to. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Oh my God, pull this down. Okay. There we go. So this is what they're asking for. I know you can't see me, but I have to be, hold on. There. Okay. So this is, here's what happened. I know, long story, but I want you guys to understand 100% what's going on here. So Blake Lively asked for discovery, for documents, for interrogatories, right? And she had a list of things she wanted. On the list, she wanted the names. Oh, Ken's in again. Ken with the galaxy. Thank you. Guys, that's so nice. Thank you, Ken. So in the request for items, she wanted content creator names and she wanted reporter names. And they were two separate interrogatories. Cassandra, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much, you guys. That means a lot. She wanted like information. And the way you get it is you do like a subpoena and you ask for discovery and interrogatories, right? So what they came back with after she filed this is they were like, it's too broad. We don't know what you're asking for. You got to narrow it down. We don't like it. Yes. So they asked for this information. The legal team for Baldoni was like, it's too narrow. We don't know what you want. No, we're not giving you everything you need to narrow it down. They narrowed it down. And this is what they all decided on the definition. So this wasn't just Blake's team deciding this. This was everybody together and deciding what the definition would be. And this is what they came up with. They said, this is the definition of what a content creator is. This is the definition of a content creator. Any individual, I gotta move down, hold on. Any individual or entity who seeding means that you like plant a story to make it grow. Like you might be like, just as an example, I'll be like, did you guys hear? Yesterday I ran into someone and Taylor Swift is pregnant. And then all of a sudden it's going to seed. Everybody's going to start talking about it. You guys are going to leave here and you're going to go talk to someone and send a message and be like, oh, did you hear? Taylor Swift is pregnant. And it's seed. Okay, that's the best compliment ever. She just said, you're a fact check machine. I love you. Okay, here we go. So seeding, yes, is like you plant something and then you get people to run with it. So seeds generates. That means like basically you're generating content. Creates, so you're like making it from start to finish, it's yours. Or influences social media content or provides related digital or social media services. Okay, so let's break that down. Or influences social media content. So like you're sharing stuff and then other people are sharing it. So if you're like a big creator like Perez Hilton, all the smaller creators would be following your lead and posting it, or provides related digital or social media services directly or indirectly. So that means they gave it directly to someone, or they gave it to someone else who gave it to someone else, so indirectly, at the request of, you guys, at the request of, so being asked by or on behalf of, so that would mean like you were asked to do it or you were just given it. So at the request of or on behalf of any wayfarer party or their agents or affiliates. So this is what a content creator is, okay? So this is what they did. This is the definition that was narrowed down to show what Perez Hilton, Candace Owens, Billy Bush, and Andy Signor did. Okay, this is what they are. Then, this is the second definition. Hold on. Right here. This is what they were asked for. They said, identify all content creators with whom you have communicated in any manner concerning Miss Lively, Mr. Reynolds, the CRD complaint, the actions, which is the lawsuit, the Lively Reynolds companies, or the digital campaign, PR smear campaign, from May 1st until today, until present. This is what they asked for. Okay. And then we saw the definition of the content creator, right? We know that they're making content on behalf of or at the request of a wayfarer party. So hold on, let me switch this again. Okay. So we know because of that, oh, there we go. 100,000%, we know that Perez Hilton, Andy Signor, Candace Owens, and Billy Bush were in communication with Melissa Nathan at TAG and were posting content at the request of or on behalf of Melissa Nathan at TAG, the Wayfarer Party. We just don't know what it is, but you can imagine what it is, right? And also, interesting to note, I know that a lot of the creators, like Andy Signor, I've heard say this. I think I heard Perez Hilton say this as well. One of their responses to this was this: we're journalists. We reach out to the other parties to get statements. No, this was not statements. And you didn't reach out to Blake's team. So in Blake Lively's document where she rips Perez Hilton a new one, her legal team did such a good job calling him out. They specifically post in there that Perez Hilton has never reached out to Blake Lively's team for content or comment. Never. He has not checked in with her side and been like, hey, can you give me a statement? But yet he's done that for Justin Baldoni's side? No. Also this, Melissa Nathan at TAG is not a PR person. She's a crisis PR expert. She deals with crisis, not PR. Jennifer Abel handles PR. Jennifer Abel is the one that would be like, hey, we're going to have a movie release party at this time. And can you talk about this? Here's the release. That's Jennifer Abel's job. Melissa Nathan is the one that handles everything under cover, whatever we want to call it, and like seeds positive stories about Justin Baldoni to combat narratives, tells him like, okay, you're in trouble, say this, do that. That's what a PR crisis manager does. So whatever she was given to those four creators, one, they didn't admit they got anything from Melissa Nathan at TAG. They would say online sources, which we can assume is them, but they never said, this is coming from Melissa Nathan at TAG. Never, not once. Never, I don't think, did I ever hear any of them say, I just got a statement from Justin Baldoni's team and I'm going to share it with you. Not that I recall. Andy Signor specifically said he got the video of their dance scene directly from Justin Baldoni's lawyer. He specifically said that in a video. I just got sent this by Justin Baldoni's lawyer. I don't know who was sending it to who or who's got this, but I got it from his legal team. Here we go. Why didn't the rest of us get that? How come that went to Andy Signor? We now know. Because he's been in communication and posting content on behalf of Team Baldoni. Not good, guys. Like, not good. Biased, skewed content is what that causes. Nothing came from Blake's side. They didn't reach out to her for comment. They didn't reach out to her to clarify statements. They didn't reach out to her for anything. And I say they, but I only know Perez Hilton for sure because we don't have any of the legal filings yet for the other three. We'll have to wait and see for that. I will choose to believe any woman who claims SH until there is solid proof that it didn't happen. I mean, I think a lot of people say that. On behalf, you're implying they're employed to smear Blake. I wouldn't use the word employed, but yes, on behalf of 100% thrifty. If you just listened and saw the definition, they specified that it is them posting this material and having communications with Melissa Nathan on behalf of or at the request of Team Baldoni. So yes, I don't believe they were paid. Maybe they were. I don't know. I just don't believe they were paid because these people make a gazillion dollars on their YouTube channel. They've also crowdsourced asking you guys for legal fees in this situation, which is so wrong because they're making so much money off this content. My content, because I hate Blake Lively and I love Justin Baldoni. My videos, when I normally average at least 60K a video, probably 60,000 views, I get like 10,000 on my content because people don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear me say this is lies or that's misinformation or that's not what's happened or that he didn't have a stitch of evidence to prove that Blake Lively tried to take over this movie. Not one text message, not one email, nothing. There was nothing from Blake Lively saying, if you don't do this, I'm going to do that. So yeah, anyway. Anyone she works with her has an issue with how she is personally, so I believe she's the problem. False. Not one person has ever come forward. I'm trying to think. I don't want to say not one until I think. Nope. Not one co-star of Blake Lively's has ever come forward to say they had a problem working with Blake Lively. The Gossip Girl, what's her name? Meester. Anyway, I can't think of her friggin' first name right now. Leighton Meester. That was rumors. And the cast came forward to say it was rumors. And I think the rumors started on that because they were enemies on the show or whatever. Or like the people who were enemies on I didn't watch Gossip Girl, so I don't know the plot. But I think it maybe started with that. But they all came forward and said, no, we actually don't have any issues on set. People might not be friends outside set, but there's no issues. The Anna Kendrick stuff was simple favor. All rumors and BS. Anna Kendrick even came out and said that. She's like, we're friends. We don't see each other a lot because we're on different coasts, but yeah, we're friends. Like, it's all been lies, guys. It's all been misinformation, rumors, and gossip. All of it. Penn Badgley, I love that one. Penn Badgley loves Blake Lively. He's done interviews where he talked about her, how she changed his life, how she made him better. He had absolutely no issues with her at all. And do you know what they took to make it nasty? When he got hired, when he took the role of whoever he played on the show, there was an interview with Blake and she's using her weird humor again, but she's like, I think I started to turn the cast against him because I was like, I don't want to work with him. And she's like, and then we all fell in love with him and I started dating him. Like people thought they took it as if she was like on set being like, he's an asshole. We're not talking to him. She was like being sarcastic, like making it sound worse than it was for like humor and to make it sound cuter that she ended up dating the guy. And they took that as negative. They twist everything. But no, nothing with Penn Badgley. Hold on, I missed that one. Baldoni is so clearly the problem. I don't get it. Cody, I don't get it either. When it comes to celeb drama, women get significantly more hate than men. People love hating women. I have to say I agree. I do find that people are very quickly to hate on her, and they really, really were excited to do it. It was bad. Despite all the evidence she came forward with and him not denying it, it was so bad. The greatest part of the Baldoni Lively feud is that it came from such a not great movie. I loved the movie. Do you know what I think the biggest part of this is the fact that these Team Justin people and the anti-Blake people are getting their information from people like Perez Hilton, Billy Bush, Candace Owens, and Andy Signor from Popcorn Planet. 4 of the probably, would we say, the most controversial social media people? Like, gross. What are you doing? Why would you believe those 4 content creators? Candace Owens, does she even believe that people walked on the moon? She's trying to say that the French president's wife is a man. Like, this woman is legit conspiracy theorist. She's extremist for the Republican. Like, oh my God. And only covered politics, really, until Blake Lively. Why is that? I know. Because she was posting on behalf or at the request of Melissa Nathan from TAG. Billy Bush. I think he's always been a little woohoo out there and nasty and negative, but that's just my thoughts. Andy Signor, huge drama with that man. He was accused of what? Like sexual harassment or sexual, I don't even know what it was. I didn't follow the story because I've never followed him. But I saw his post where he like admits to cheating on his wife and like writing inappropriate messages to people and like like he just had this whole drama and was like canceled. And anyway, now we know he was working for Melissa Nathan. Perez Hilton, do I need to explain? You know what? I'm going to make a whole video on the history of Perez Hilton. I did a ton of research today. I'm going to tell you all about how he tried to post pictures of 17-year-old Miley Cyrus claiming she wasn't wearing underwear, which would be child inappropriateness, right? When she was 17, and then tried to back out of it. How he pretty much had a huge hand in putting Britney Spears into a conservatorship and having a mental breakdown. How he posted topless picture of Jennifer Aniston and she sued him. Like, just gross behavior. Just gross behavior that these people, and that is who's posting Justin Baldoni's content. That is who is supporting him. That is who is being like, yay, Justin, Blake's a bitch. And everybody believes it. And Kirsty Flaw, guys, the reporter who was kicked out of Hollywood for suing Hollywood, basically, hasn't worked in like years in Hollywood because of this, was pretty much, from what I've read, allegedly hated in Hollywood, posts one video from 10 years ago that made Blake look nasty, and now she's making $1 bazillion on her I Hate Blake Lively content. It's all she posts. Every day, multiple look what Blake Lively did content. And selling shirts that make fun of Blake Lively, selling shirts promoting Justin Baldoni. All hate, all negative, all nasty, and everybody loves her and watches her. All the pro-Justin people. It's crazy. This is the first live I found Team Blake. Finally, someone, please change my mind. Sage, I love you. Okay, for anybody that just joined, I obviously can't go through everything because it's already 10:30 my time, and I've been on here for, 3 hours talking about this. I'm going to upload this whole video to my YouTube channel. It explains why I believe Blake Lively's allegations. It goes into a lot of stuff tonight that you guys had questions about. Please go watch it on my YouTube channel. I will upload it as soon as I get off here. It takes a while. It might take an hour or two to get uploaded. Laura just posted my YouTube channel. Thank you, Laura. It's just my name, The Recap with Julie. You can search it on any of my socials. I have Facebook. I post all the time on that, and my Instagram. I just got Threads, but I don't know how to use it. I just got Reddit, but I don't know how to use it. But YouTube, Facebook, and here would be my 3 big ones. They're all The Recap with Julie. Or you can just click my name here on YouTube and go to my main page, and right underneath there's a link, and it has a direct link to all my socials. Please go follow them on there. And then watch this video from the start before commenting, please. And watch the whole video before commenting. But I will upload the whole thing. So hopefully you guys can see why I feel the way I feel. Why did she say in an interview that the set was amazing? Because it was. It really was. They did like such a good job. A lot of it was really close to the book too. Thank you for taking the time to stand up for, oh, Kira, I love you. Blake loves to bully people who are different and mistakes it for weakness. Papa Bear, name one person she's ever bullied. Just one. Name one for me. I actually feel certain that Blake will win. All the side drama isn't even what she filed. Ryder, exactly. It was all smoke and mirrors. Justin Baldoni, instead of being like, I did not sexually harass her, I did not do a PR smear campaign, and I'm not retaliating. Instead, he came out and he was like, she's a mean girl and tried to steal my movie. So, it's bad. Leighton Meester. Nope, didn't bully Leighton Meester. Leighton Meester was gossip and rumors, and the co-stars all came out to clarify that. I have a whole video on my playlist of Blake Lively where I snipped out all of the articles from her coworkers, including Leighton Meester, who clarify there was no drama like that on set. It was just gossip and rumors. And I think it was probably created for Gossip Girl for attention, because it was at the time, it was good rumors, right? She got someone fired. Who did she get fired? Who did she get fired and why do you think they got fired? He said it on live TV? Who did? Army Hammer? Thank God. Blake Lively celebrity feud. Hold on, we're waiting for him to comment. Who got fired? Who got fired on live TV? Oh, did I miss it? No, he's not commenting it. The difference between her and other professionals is they are professionals. They don't need to bash. Who did she bash? Guys, you're not answering the questions. You're making false statements, and I can't help you with it if you don't tell me who you think she did this to. And are they? Is that who they're talking about? Army Hammer? I watched the whole documentary on him. That guy is messed up. This little man bullied her, and when she addressed it, he started a smear campaign. Yeah. Oh, Lil says yes. Okay, I don't know the Army Hammer story, but if she got him fired, thank God. That guy is sick. Like, he's sick. If you guys watch the documentary, it's bad. Cassandra says Army Hammer's getting love now, right? That honestly, the team Justin Baldoni people would do that. Like, they'd embrace anything just to be like, Blake's awful. He groped Brittany too. Yeah. Day one, you were team Lively side. I absolutely was, Shireen. I saw, in my opinion, the smear campaign happening before my eyes and tried to like call it out and show the full interviews, and nobody was listening. It was crazy. It was crazy. Is the HBO Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni documentary in Canada? No, and I want to watch it because I'm in it. The people wrote me when they were developing that or producing that and asked if they could use my content. I was like, sure. They were like, unfortunately, I don't think you can watch it in Canada. I'm like, great. I believe Perez Hilton's on it too, but I haven't been able to watch it. If anybody has it, send it to me. Oh, see? Julie's in the doc. I heard. I haven't seen it though. How is the smear campaign? How is it a smear campaign if it's all on video? Things she said, no one made her say it. Wait, what? How is it a smear campaign if it's all on video? I don't know what you mean by that. The smear campaign's not on video. The smear campaign is invisible, according to Justin Baldoni's team. She's a liar. Okay, tell me one thing she lied about. Instead of just saying she's a liar, tell me what you think she lied about so we can chat. Scotty says they never make sense. I know. It's frustrating because they just, on my videos, they'll be like, you're full of crap and lying and misinformation. I'll be like, tell me one thing I lied about. And it's crickets. They can never answer. No, but her vile behavior in interviews is on video. Thank you for that one, Shelbs. Her vile behavior in interviews. No. There were 2 videos that made her look bitchy. That was it. And one of them wasn't even her bitchy. This is one interview, guys, that people tried to like make it sound like she was bad. She's in an interview. The guy, I can't even remember the t-shirt, but the guy interviewing her, the 2 of them are bantering and she's being all sarcastic and he's being right back at her. They had a great interview. He's got this t-shirt on. I can't remember what it was, so I'm going to say it was SpongeBob. And she's like, I love SpongeBob. And he's like, oh, do you? But she's like, give me your t-shirt. And he's like, really? You want my t-shirt? And she's like, yep. And he's like, all right. And he's like, I can't believe I'm doing this with Blake. And he gives her the t-shirt and she puts it on right there and they like joke and whatever. People were like, oh my God, look at her behavior. Oh my God, I can't believe she was doing this. Blah, 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 blah. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, are you kidding me? And people believed it. Like, people bought it. They were like, oh, what a bit. No, not the case. Another one, again, it's this Kirsty Flaw's boyfriend, allegedly. He goes and uploads a video after Kirsty Flaw's video did so well. He uploads a video with Kirsty of him interviewing Blake Lively for A Simple Favor. Remember in A Simple Favor how, what's the drink? What's the fancy drink? With gin. Oh my God, what's it called? You can tell I don't drink, right? What the hell's it called? A martini? Martini. Huge in the movie, right? She's drinking martinis all the time. And they ended up in that movie getting Ryan Reynolds aviation gin or whatever in the movie for like promotion. Nobody said a word about it back then though. Did you notice that? No one was like, oh my God, I can't believe she's cross promoting. Anyway, they had the gin in the movie. So when they did the press junkets, it was part of the prop. They had the gin there, the aviation gin, and the martini glasses, and like the reporters would come in and she'd be like, oh, let's have martinis, whatever. Like, and he's like, oh, he's all awkward. No, I don't drink it. She's like, oh, come on, you got to drink. And everybody's now like, oh, she was pressuring him to drink and he's living a sober life. Like, as if she would know that. Like, it's her joking. It's her having good connections with reporters. Like, everybody's trying to make it sound like she's a mean girl, and that's not the case. The only one she looked like a bitch in was with Kirsty Flaw, and I completely think she did. But there was context, like we talked about. The 2016 movement, ask her more. These reporters weren't supposed to be asking about their bodies, their clothing. They were supposed to ask deeper questions about their actual acting and, background anyway. And they didn't. And that's why she answered the way she did. And Kirsty Flaw didn't tell you guys that. And you jumped on her right away. And that was from 10 years ago. All of the press junkets and stuff from now, she wasn't bitchy in any of them, nor was she inappropriate. But all you guys saw was like little clips of her laughing or joking with reporters instead of seeing her actually talk about the deeper side of the movie, which was the DV. And she did do that. If you want to see it, I have all of the full interviews on my page in my Blake Lively folder. It's all there. People saying how she acted a certain way during press release. Exactly, she was acting. It's her job. Her words in an interview with Colleen Hoover, it was such an easy set to work on, so she's a liar. No, she's not a liar. She was serious. She really enjoyed filming this movie and loved creating this movie. She took a lot of ownership to it. She brought a lot of herself to this, and she's been honest with that. What she's referring to in her sexual harassment was all at the beginning of the filming, and she dealt with it. She got the 17-point document. They all signed it, and she went on record saying everything got better after that. Now, she's also not going to come on and be like, he was sexually harassing me. He is a pig and he's an ass, like whatever else, because he didn't either. So are you calling Justin Baldoni a liar? Because he praised her in every interview he did. Blake was so amazing. I loved her contribution. She should be a director and produce this part 2. So are you calling him a liar too? Because he wasn't coming out with all the bad stuff that happened? Just saying. If she was SH, she should have pressed charges then. Not like, you don't press charges for SH. SH is not a police issue. That's why she's suing him, not going to the police. SA, assault, is a police issue. SH is a human resource department issue. And I still don't know where our human resource person is for Wayfarer, because the person I think is the human resource person was hiding from their subpoena. And they were saying, nope, we don't represent her. And then all of a sudden they do. I think her name was Cynthia something. She's in the same religion as him. I think that is the HR person, but nobody really knows. We haven't heard about the HR person yet. But Blake did everything right in this situation. She, in emails and to their face, went to them with her complaints as early as, what was it, guys? March or May of 2023? I can't remember. They knew about the complaints right away. Like before filming got started, she was already voicing her issues to them. She went to them. She said, look, this is making me feel uncomfortable and I don't like it. And they'd be like, oh, stop. You're crazy. Like, and he's admitted to this in his lawsuit to her saying, coming to them with certain things, especially when she talks about Jamie Heath kind of bursting into her trailer when she's getting her makeup removed and she is either pumping or breastfeeding. And she says to him, like, can we talk later? And he's like, oh, I'll just turn around. And she says he turns around. So she's like dealing with her boob, whatever she's doing. And she says they're talking. And when she looks up, she sees that he's now looking at her and staring at her boob. And so she's like, so he turns around and then she follows him outside and confronts him on it. And she says, look, I don't think you were trying to be like a creep or anything, but I caught you like looking at me. And he's like, oh, sorry, I wasn't meaning to. I think my eyes slipped. Haha. That's in his legal complaint. He admits that. So yeah, she handled everything correctly. She went to them directly. when it didn't change and things continued and other coworkers came to her complaining, then she went and filed an email with Sony and said, what do I do? Here's what's going on. And then the girl at Sony got involved. And then she went to her legal team and they drafted up that list of protections she wanted to have to be put in place to go back on work, to go back to work. And then they had that meeting. She drafted that in November. Then they had the meeting in January where a rep from Sony, the whole shebang was there. And they went through this whole list of protections and agreed on everything. And then they signed the contract not to retaliate against her for coming forward with these claims of SH. So she 100% did what she was supposed to. He, on the other hand, not so much. Think of the insurance companies. Harco right now filed a suit against him to say, we're not covering you because you didn't follow your policy and you didn't even tell us about any of this until April of 2025. We're not paying for any of this. And then because of that, he decided to sue the other 3 insurers because they turned him down. So before they could file a suit like Harco did, he's now suing them saying, you have to cover our costs in this. And they've already said no for the same reasons Harco did, that he breached the contracts because he didn't tell them about the complaints. And it happened outside of the time frame, I believe, for Harco as well. But it's going to be all out of pocket for these guys. Steve Sarowitz, thank God he's a billionaire, right? Scotty. All right. Hold on, we got one more question there. Has court started? No. Court is supposed to start March of 2026. This coming March, I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to get pushed because everything's been pushed right now. All the discovery, everything that they're supposed to hand over is supposed to be handed in like 9 days or something like that. And they still haven't passed in what they're supposed to her. They haven't given her any of the signal. So that's the other thing, guys. They were using Signal, which is what, like a drug dealer app? Like you use Signal if you're cheating on your wife. Signal is an untraceable whatever app. Like I don't even understand how it works. But IT people use Signal because you can't trace it and all this crap. That's what they were using for these text chains. And Blake got a piece of one of them that had his lawyer, Brian Friedman, introducing one of his clients to Team Baldoni, or one of his former clients. I can't remember. So not good. But she has evidence of all this. She knows that there was Signal communications. They haven't given her one. She also knows that all 4 of those big content creators were in contact with Melissa Nathan from Tag. She hasn't gotten one text message, one email, nothing. Everything he had in his lawsuit, pretty much all missing. Not one text message, nothing that he claimed. All this evidence, these screenshots he had, hasn't given her hardly any of it. Like it looks bad, guys. She's even said, her team said in the latest filing, I think it was in Perez Hilton's filing, that now they're worried that his team has destroyed the evidence, like wiped it. And they will be in huge shit if this is the case, because the very first thing Blake Lively's team did when they filed the CRD was they sent a cease and desist to Wayfarer and all parties. And there is like 4 pages included in there listing all the things that they're going to be coming after and specifying do not delete, destroy, burn, whatever, any of these things. And it tells them how to preserve all of these things. So if they did go and delete all of this stuff, oh my God, it's going to be so bad. I don't even know what happens. If you're a lawyer out here listening right now, tell me what happens. It looks bad for her, if anything, but I'm sure she has judges in her pocket. Oh my God. Grow up. I'm sorry. I've heard the tainted judge comment way too many times. Laura! For you guys to think a respectable judge who has been on the circuit for God knows how many years, has all of these accolades under them, is going to go and take money from Blake Lively to ruin their career and be shady is insane. Just because you don't like the filings that are happening. If you read the actual filing, they have to back up. These judges have to back up their claims and their rulings. Whatever order they make They have to prove it. There is pages of court examples, case examples that aren't from ChatGPT like Perez Hilton's were, and they show why he has to rule the way he does. You think he wants to rule in her favor with all the hate he's getting? This man is being majorly harassed. He is being raked over the coals. Perez Hilton has been the most disrespectful, I won't even say it, in his letters to that judge, calling him in the letters that he writes to the judge that he's biased, that he's not running the docket correctly. Like, so insulting, so disrespectful. Like, I hope he throws the book at Perez Hilton. I really do. Because Perez Hilton has been such an ass to him. And it's because they're all Team Baldoni and they just don't want to hear and listen to the facts. It's not good. Federal judges don't give a shit about this case. 100%. 100%. They don't care about celebrities. I mean, it's given them lots of attention in their court, but I'm sure they'd rather not have that attention. It's all negative. And they are like brilliant. These lawyers, well, the majority of them, they have a whole team working behind them, investigating court case law. Anyway, that's BS. I'm not even going to go there with that stuff. It's ridiculous. She is wrong. She is a manipulative liar. How so? Tell me one thing that she has manipulated or lied. We'll talk about it. Ezra is a liar and has ruined her reputation. Okay, just because you think she's ruined her reputation doesn't mean that. She actually has an incredible reputation in the legal community. You can ask any lawyer. And what is the thing? Why are you calling Ezra a liar? What do you think she's lied about? Your team Lively. Where did I miss this? I'm not team anyone. I believe her allegations because I've read through all the filings. But I'm not a Justin hater or a Blake hater or whatever is going around. She's actually been a class act throughout all of this. I agree, Kimmy. Her whole legal team has been very professional in all this. And they've said numerous times whenever his lawyer beaks off in the media, they're like, we're fighting this in court, not the media. We're not in public, the public opinion world here. You absolutely are a Justin hater? Gabby, give me one example why you think I'm a Justin hater. What have I said negative towards Justin Baldoni? Julia's team facts get around. I love that, Cassandra. I like that better than the team truth that Perez Hilton's trying to use. I love facts. I love researching. I love these court cases. I'm all over it. And this one's killing me because I don't think half of my followers, I don't even think a third of my followers are interested in this at all. And the majority of my followers aren't believing Blake's allegations anyway. So posting this content is actually hurting my page more than helping. You've never called out Blake for anything? That doesn't mean I hate Justin Baldoni. It means there's nothing yet that she needs to be called out for. What is something you believe that she has done that I need to call her out for in this? Like, if there was something, if she did something, I would call it out. There's nothing. Like, I haven't seen anything yet that has been a lie or a misuse of the justice system. Like, nothing. You don't believe him though, right? No, I do believe some of his stuff. I believe that the turmoil that was on set with her taking over the movie, I believe he felt that, but he didn't tell her that. He bitched behind her back instead, which you can't do as a boss anyway. But I do believe he felt that way. I do believe that he was mad on the inside that she was like doing things, but then to her face was like, I love this. I love that you're taking control. I want your input. So it's moot, right? Like, he didn't tell her. I don't believe that he was being malicious in a lot of the things that he did. I think he was either being absent-minded or kind of living in his like feminist spiritual persona that he has. And it just came off as creepy to her, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I believe some of the stuff he said. I don't believe anything about his allegations that she's a bitch or a bully or that she tried to steal the movie or that she made up the SH claims because she was trying to steal the movie. I don't believe any of that. None of that. Okay, so I'm here personal friend. Honey, what do you mean? So why didn't she leave the set? Because she didn't need to. She made complaints to them. Remember, this is not SA. This is not assault. This was harassment. This was her feeling uncomfortable in a sexual manner on her workplace, right? And she dealt with it. She went to them numerous times about situations. Then this whole strike happened. In November, she went to her lawyers. She also went to Sony and complained too and was like, what should I do? Then she went to her lawyers. They made up the 17-page document. They all agreed, yep, this is what we'll do moving forward. They signed the no retaliation form, and she said it got better after that. So she didn't need to leave. Why does a woman need to be the one to leave? Yeah, good point, Kara. 100%. So I'm her personal friend. Oh, this is Honey, who is a personal friend? I don't really believe you, Honey. Sorry. But hi, if you are. He also felt intimidated, though. No, he didn't. No, he did not. 100% he did not. He was starstruck over Blake Lively, or at least that's what he was portraying in his gross text messages at the beginning. I didn't like those text messages. I don't know about you guys, but when he was like, I was like so or maybe it was his phone call. Was it his phone call? And he's like, I was so excited like to get to spend time with Blake Lively. And yeah, it was his phone call. That just seemed like starstruck to me. He was not intimidated at all. I think he was excited. I think he was, again, starstruck. I think he was extremely excited to meet Ryan Reynolds. He was pumped to have her as his leading co-star in the movie. But there was no intimidation. That was BS. You cannot tell me he was intimidated. Absolutely not. Oh, thanks, Laura. Okay, I'm going to upload this whole thing to my YouTube channel. I've got to get off. It is now what? 10 to 11 my time. And thank you guys for sitting through with me. And thank you to those who are being respectful in the comments. It means more than you can imagine. To have you guys just, look, she's going for the goal. We're 80%, you guys. She was going for the live goal. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Scotty, for being the title gifter. Thank you so much, you guys. Laura, you did not need to do that. Laura, I love you. Thank you. You didn't need to do that. Thank you so much, you guys. Thanks, Cody. I love you guys. Michelle, thank you. Jules, you sound sick. I think I'm getting sick. I think it's like just a head cold, though. Mackenzie, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Laura. No, I couldn't tonight. Okay, anyway, what I was saying, thank you to everyone who's being respectful. I love hearing both sides. I really do. I love you guys calling it out and being like, well, what about this? Well, what about that? So I can clear up misinformation. Or maybe you guys can bring attention to me things I didn't know, right? Like if she's done something or lied about something, I want to know. I want to hear it. I want to talk about it. So I love that. I'm not going to deal with the hate and the bullying and the nastiness anymore. Those people are going to get blocked every time. Their comments are going to get removed. Like, it's not fair to my followers and it's not fair to me to have to listen to it just because I don't believe what people believe on this side. We need to be kinder. We need to handle this situation kinder. No matter what we think, she doesn't deserve the hate she's been getting. Like, she really doesn't. Whether you think she tried to take over the movie or not, that's not a cause for you to like hate on someone and bully someone the way that it's happened. Like, it's not okay. Anyway, thank you for joining me, guys. Have the best night. Love you guys. Make sure you hit follow and don't forget to go and follow my YouTube channel, The Recap with Julie, and make sure you drop me comments as long as they're nice. Night, everybody. You guys are the absolute best.